Cedeno Juan Roberto Xavier Alejandro de la Cisco.
So this must be Cedeno Juan Roberto Xavier Alejandro de la Cisco. Now the question remains, did I pronounce your name correctly?
Si.
Our producer informed me you are one of the most respected film critics from Mexico City. Is that true?
Si.
Now, I was also told that you speak English quite fluently.
Si.
Well, you appear to be a man of few words, but what the heck, you've got a lot of names, so I guess that makes up for it. What do they call you? What's your nickname?
Sid.
Sid?
Sid.
Well, Sid, I hope you've seen the movies we're supposed to review tonight.
Si. I've seen.
And what was your overall first impression?
So.
Just so?
Si. So.
Oh, I can see it all now. This is going to be a long night. We better get on with it. So let me take a minute to explain to the audience why we're up here. Many of you may remember during the summer of 1991, Charles Brady. Oh, I forgot to turn on the slide projector. Like, one of you guys want to put that on? Technical. And that was supposed to be at the beginning as we entered. At the start, Cisco and Steve. During the summer of 1991, Charles Brady was in the town of Danbury. He's a well-known author of 7 Games in October and A Spark of Goodness. He was doing research for several screenplays that eventually were rewritten for Hollywood, and some consequently became movie blockbusters at the ticket office. Our job tonight is to take a look at those original screenplays as critics and point out how they changed in order to entice the public into the box office. For example, the Hollywood movie starring Whoopi Goldberg, entitled The Color Purple, was originally a documented stage performance rewritten by Brady entitled Colored But Not Purple. And it introduced Whoopi Salmon to the Corn-Day stage. Another Whoopi Goldberg box office hit entitled Jumpin' Jack Flash was a spin-off of a Corn-Day stage act. The only difference was that Jack wasn't doing the jumping. The bunnies were. Jack seemed to like it better that way. Warren Beatty starred in what was relatively a sleeper at the box office and in the script entitled Hairspray. He may well have been better advised to stay with the original Brady screenplay about 2 small-town newspaper publishers entitled Need Some Hairspray. Nadine was actually another movie about a hairdresser. But this story evolved around the life of a female beautician trapped in a small town in Texas. Brady's version was, curiously enough, also entitled Nadine. But his was a documentary on the life of an exotic dancer trapped in a small town in Iowa. Pretty Woman was a huge box office success, but very few people know that the original screenplay written by Brady was about a Hawaiian hula girl, not a hooker. It was entitled Pretty Ugly Woman. The theme song was, however, the same. It will be used again in this upcoming sequel entitled Women. Some pretty, some ugly, and some pretty old enough. And now, as a special treat, here with an on-location interview with some of the stars of that upcoming film is our own correspondent, Robin Leach. Take it away, Robin.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Robin Leach for Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, the show that brings you things you'll never be able to afford, visiting homes you could never dream of living in. Tonight, we're here at the Corn Days festivities, seeing things illegal in most parts of the world. interviewing 4 pretty women who ought to be put into a home. I'm most honored to be here this evening. Corn Days, the Mardi and the Gras, the Fiesta and the Farmer. Why, just last week, Lifestyles Were Rich and Famous did a special with TV evangelist Jim Baker. It was entitled Lifestyles Were Rich and Imprisoned. And so tonight, our first pretty woman, Miss Tammy Faye Baker. Why, Tammy, why are the tears rolling down onto your rouge?
Ever since Jimmy went to prison, I tried to develop my mind, but something else happened. Now I've only got one outfit to wear. Nobody's sending in any money.
Perhaps, Tammy, if you would sing us a religious song, it would help to bring your sober mood to an end.
Amazing grace, they sell Maybelline by the case.
Well, Tammy, that's just about enough. Let's bring out our next pretty woman. Our next pretty woman is very high on the Nielsen ratings, Miss Roseanne Barr.
How's everybody in Danbury? I hope they're as nice as everybody is in Ottumwa, Iowa.
Why, Roseanne, you look most stunning this evening.
Stunning, ain't I? I just brushed my teeth. Say, I sang the national anthem in San Diego. I want to sing it here in Danbury, and I'm going to do it.
Why, by all means,
Thank
step
you.
up to the mic.
I am. Let me see. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems we've run out of time for our last guest, the clumsy Roseanne Barr. We're very honored to have our next guest here this evening. She is the first of all ladies, and the soon-to-be unemployed Miss Barbara Bush. Why, Barbara, you look a little different this evening.
Well, I'm glad you noticed. They said if I was coming to Danbury Corn Days, I could let my hair down.
And that you did. Tell me, Barbara, are we cooking broccoli in the White House this evening?
Well, no. Millie's not hungry.
Speaking of food, I've heard you've been doing a delightful job of clearing up on the dessert tables at the campaign trail this year. How is this playing on your famous and rich figure?
Well, I'm built for the job.
Tell me, Barbara, how is the campaign doing this year?
Well, you know, they're ignoring some of the issues. I thought they would be asking for my baking and cooking recipes, and they're asking what's cooking between George and the lady in the Senate.
Thank you, Barbara. Let's move on. My last guest this evening was made rich and famous more than 20 years ago on the TV show Laugh-In. She is recently deceased, but we have her here this evening. Miss Ruth Buzzy. Excuse me, Miss Buzzy. Tell me, Miss Buzzy, what have you been doing these past 20 years?
The same thing I've been doing on Laugh-In, dodging the dirty old men. And I've recently written my autobiography, Swinging with Ruth Buzzy.
Your new book has been getting a lot of publicity. In it, you mention not only movie stars, but politicians as well. I've heard that you recently interviewed Ronald Reagan just a few years ago.
Yes, and And Ronald was bragging to me about how Nancy's Just Say No campaign was all his idea. He knew she'd be a natural with that because she'd just been saying no at home for years. He also asked me if I would like to play mommy. So I told him it was nap time.
Well now, and you also met Bill Clinton campaigning last year.
Yes, and when he hit on me, I found out why they said he just dodges around the issues. I went to swing on him and he wasn't there.
And you also met Ross Perot.
He offered me $1 million.
Ross Perot offered you $1 million.
Sure, someone dumb enough to spend $200 million to be president wants $1 million for a date with Ruth Buzzy.
And finally, what can you tell us about our beloved President, George Bush?
Well, when he asked me out, I told him he'd already had his affair. They called it Iran-Contra. And then I said, just read my lips. Never.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Robert Leach, roving field reporter for the Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Let's have a hand for the pretty, ugly women of Danbury.
Documentary can be seen in the movie Green Card. The Hollywood fiction version was about a French artist trying to stay in the United States under false pretense. Yo, Sid, did you happen to watch this one? See? Well, then you know the Brady version was a non-fiction documentary about a Mexican film critic who tried to stay in the United States under false pretense. See? Said, you know, you're starting to act just a little nervous. You know, the more I think about it, you're even looking a little green yourself, if you know what I mean. So did you ever stop and think that maybe Brady's film was about you? See? See? So what do you intend to do about it? Sue! Sue! See? Sue! Well, who on earth would ever defend you? Oh, my Uncle Si! See? Si, say, Sue! Oh, if somebody gets this in Boston, I can't take any more of this. Somebody, please, somebody. Oh, to the rescue. Oh, now we got that out of the way, we can get on with the show. Back to the movie. Now, a lot of the kids in the audience no doubt have seen Wayne's World. And the irony of it is that the ones going to Maple Valley have also seen Brady's version called Wayne's World by Bus. Our next movie for review featured Bill Murray in a starring role and was entitled Caddyshack. But the original screenplay by Charles Brady was entitled Kitty Shack. That's because Brady realized that kids are cute, and as long as you've got cute kids on stage, the story isn't near as important. For example, the Disney comeback hit, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, was originally a screenplay about a Danbury housewife entitled, Honey, We've Got Shrunk Kids. Hollywood soon picked up on this child star phenomenon and started using it to their advantage. For example, in the hit Christmas movie, Home Alone, they reversed the starring role. In Brady's version, the storyline was about a housewife who, after 22 years, finally sent her youngest child off to school and was entitled Home Alone Finally. To prove, beyond a doubt, the kids are cute, phenomenal. We're fortunate to have procured one of Brady's yet unsold, untaped, original screenplays, which is a childhood biography entitled Little Garth Brooks, starring J.D. Welding.
Blame it all on my roots. I showed up in boots and ruined your black tie affair. The last one to know, the last one to show, I was the last one you thought you'd see there. And I saw the surprise and the fear in his eyes when I took his glass of champagne. I toasted you, said, honey, we may be through, but you'll never hear me complain. 'Cause I got I guess I was wrong. I just don't belong. Then I've been there before. Everything's alright. I'll just say goodnight and I'll show myself to the door. Hey, I didn't mean to cause a big scene. Just give me an hour and then all these highs that I've retired. You're heaven now. 'Cause I got friends in all places where the whiskey's round and the beer's
Well, action-adventure films were very popular with Hollywood directors, and one of the biggest box office draws was Bruce Willis. Many of you have seen him in the movie The Last Boy Scout. Well, I'm on the wrong section. Another very successful box office hit was Three Men and a Baby. Also chronicled a young child's early days. But Brady, not to be outdone, took this version 2 steps further and was called Three Men and Three Babies. Just about everyone laughed who saw the hit movie Look Who's Talking. But let's face it, babies come in all sizes, and some talk more than others, which is why Brady chose to call his version Look Who's Always Talking. Then there was the sequel entitled Look Who's Talking 2, and Brady's title that was once again was close. It was called Look Who She's Always Talking To. Little kids, no matter what, have box office appeal. Why? Because they are our future, and everyone likes a cute future. And thanks to Sandy Ortner and Sharon Cruz, you can see exactly for yourself what I mean. Watch the slide.
Sure people got no reason. Sure people got no reason. Sure people got no reason to live. They got little hands, little eyes. They walk around telling great big lies. They got little noses and tiny little teeth. They got platform shoes on their fancy little feet. I don't want no shore people. Don't want no shore people. Don't want no shore people round here. Shore people are just the same as you and I. All men are brothers until the day they die. It's a wonderful world, shore people got nobody. Shore people got nobody. Shore people got nobody to love. They got baby legs that stand so low, you gotta pick 'em up just to say hello. They got little cars going beep, beep, beep. They got little voices going beep, beep, beep. They got grubby little fingers and dirty little hands. They're gonna get you every time. Well, we want those shore people. We want those shore people. We want those shore people round here. Shore people are the future of our community. Without them, there would be no Danbury. It's a wonderful world. Shore people got somebody. Shore people are somebody. Shore people are somebody to love. They got tiny little trikes that ride so low. They got little bikes that really make them go. They got tiny little hammers and tiny little saws. They push the grocery carts for their ma's. We want those shore people. We want those shore people. We want those shore people round here.
Action-adventure films were very popular with Hollywood directors, and one of the biggest box office draws was Bruce Willis. Many of you may have seen him in the movie The Last Boy Scout. Now Brady, not to be outdone by Hollywood, took the script a step further and entitled it The Last Two Boy Scouts. But Willis really skyrocketed to fame with his starring role in Die Hard and Die Hard 2. Brady's version dealt more with our fear of death and was entitled Die Hard, Because We're Gonna Get You. And then followed with the sequel, Die Easy, in which the outlaw Irving announced to the townfolks of Danbury that he was retiring and that they could all finally rest in peace and didn't necessarily have to die to do so. Then there was that action-packed film that drew critical acclaim for its outstanding special effects. The title was Backdraft. It was a film about two fireman brothers who were living in the shadow of their deceased father, a veteran firefighter and hero. Brady's version was just the opposite, entitled Draft in the Back. It was about a father and son-in-law who pedaled across Iowa in the shadow. It was a father-in-law who pedaled across Iowa in the shadow of his vet, drinking draft beer, singing the song "He's My Hero" in order to entice him up the longer hill. Another potentially volatile film starring George C. Scott called Taft supposedly just ripped the title off from Brady's original screenplay, which was about a young tap dancer from 42nd Street, New York. Well, we're fortunate to have tonight to perform the original version, Sean Hammond dancing to 42nd Street.
Hear the beat of dancing feet. It's strong, I love the melody of 42nd Street.
Westerns nearly faced extinction on the silver screen during the 70s and 80s, which left a lot of cowboy role actors out of work. Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, and Martin Short teamed up for a comedy about the injustice entitled Three Amigos, in which three unemployed actors find work in Mexico trying to save a village from a band of marauding outlaws. But what many people don't realize is that in the original Brady version, which was titled the same, The Three Amigos, were in fact three seemingly unemployed farmers from a small town in Iowa, who were likewise trying to save the town. But the most interesting fact is that the movie Presumed Innocent was originally a Charles Brady sequel to Three Amigos, but was then more fittingly entitled Presumed Guilty. in which the heroes are forced to don disguises whenever they go out in public to keep from being recognized and attacked. In real life, the actor Jack Palance was one of those so-called has-been cowboy actors. That is until he landed the lead role in Trail Boss in the recently released Western comedy entitled City Slickers. Grady's original screenplay was called similarly Slick City Slickers. But in his story, the trail boss doesn't die. Boss Hogg just rides off in the sunset. That's west, as in towards Sioux City. Clint Eastwood enjoyed a great deal of success in Italy during the same period of time with what has become known as the spaghetti western. One of the most popular of these series was called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and ironically was originally casted by Grady with Boss Hogg in the lead role, but it was then entitled The Good, the Bad, and the Little Ugly. The film Naked Gun and Naked Gun 2.5 were not released to the theaters in the U.S. as westerns, but Brady's original story was in fact a western detailing the life and times of a young gunslinger known as Naked Gun 2.25. We all saw what happened to Jack Palance, the trail boss in City Slickers. I mean, who could ever forget him doing push-ups on stage at the Academy Awards? But did you ever ask yourself what happened to all those cowboy stars of the 40s and 50s? Well, Arlen Coulter, the minister at Danbury's United Methodist Church, has asked those questions. And he's here to perform for us the Sadler Brothers hit, Whatever Happened to Randolph Scott.
Everybody knows when you go to the show, you can't take the kids along. You've got to read the paper and know the code of BGG and RNX, and you've got to know what the blues about before you even go. Exhibitors gone and Disney's dead and the screen is filled with sex. Whatever happened to Randolph Scott riding the trail alone? Whatever happened to Gene and Tex and Roy and Rex, the Durango Kid? Oh, whatever happened to Randolph Scott, his horse plain as could be? Whatever happened to Randolph Scott has happened to the best of me. Everybody's trying to make a comment about our doubts and fears. True Grit's the only movie I really understood in years. You've got to take your analyst along to see if it's fit to see. Whatever happened to Randolph Scott has happened to the industry. Whatever happened to Johnny Mac Brown and Al in Rocky Lane? Whatever happened to Lash Guru? I'd love to see them again. Whatever happened to Smiley Burnett, Tim Holt, and Gene Autry? Whatever happened to all of these has happened to the best of me. Whatever happened to Randolph Scott has happened to the industry.
Tonight is animation. Now, Disney Productions has been a leader in the field since the founder, Walt Disney, introduced to America to Mickey Mouse. One of the more recent releases was entitled The Rescuers. Now, when people in Danbury think of the Rescuers, they probably think of the Danbury Ambulance Squad. And when they think of the Rescuers Down Under, they probably think of Greg Pittan. In either case, to the best of my knowledge, Charles Brady never wrote a screenplay about either of these movies. But then I lied about all the rest of them so far, so what's a few more going to hurt? For example, a new phenomenon among kids was created with the release of the movie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Grady's version, which never quite caught on, was close. It was called Pre-Teenage Ninja Turtles and the Mutant. Another movie, famous for creating a hero out of an animal, was Beauty and the Beast. Grady's version was similar, a romantic love story entitled Beauty and the Big Beast. In which the beast literally swept the beauty off her feet. Another popular character among kids was Pee Wee Herman, who starred in his own movie entitled Pee Wee's Playhouse. I'm sure the Danbury version would have been more like Pee Wee's Playground, in which Pee Wee, Carol Twitchell, co-starred with Kevin Johnson in a double play about the Danbury Little League girls softball team that went undefeated this past summer. And while we're on the subject of Pee Wee, I might mention that she is responsible for organizing our next act, which consists of Rochelle McBride, Jenny Weldy, and Andrea Twitchell as they perform to Every Heartbeat. Seeing those girls doing those acrobatic moves reminds me of the movie responsible for this whole Siskel and Siebert theme. That movie was called Flashdance. The Corn Day version was called Flashdance. Another reminder of that movie, Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy's Revenge. The Danbury version would have to be called Nightmare on E Street, Betty's Revenge. Cop shows are always popular, but not very many of them want to deal with domestic abuse in the home. One film that found the perfect solution for such dangerous situations was entitled RoboCop, half machine, half human, all cop. The Corn Day version is more apt to be entitled half human, half clown, all hobo cop. The movie Silence of the Lambs was a cop show of sorts, dealing with the relationship between an FBI agent and a convicted serial killer who supposedly had his victims for lunch. Rest assured, there was nothing quite about the Danbury version entitled No Silence in the Lambs, although it does look like the star's been eating for years. That picture says it all. A man's work is never done. And then there's the saying that a picture's worth 1,000 words. So this next performance by Cindy Armstrong, Chris Brenner, Sharon Cruz, Donna Boyson, and Dawn Lindley must be worth about 40,000 words. My understanding was that it's the Danbury sequel to Men at Work, and it's entitled Men, Do They Ever Work? Watch the monitor as they perform.
They buy you dinner, open your door. Other than that, what are they good for? Men, talking about men. They all want a girl, just like the girl that married their old dad. They make me so mad. Men, talking about men. Well, you can't beat 'em up 'cause they're bigger than you. You can't live with 'em and you just can't shoot 'em, man. I'm talking about men. They love their toys, they make their noise. They're nothing but a bunch of overgrown boys, men. Talking about men. If you give them what they want, they never fall in love. Don't give them nothing they can't get enough. Men, I'm talking about men. Well, you can't beat them up 'cause they're bigger than you. You can't live with them and you just can't shoot them, men. I'm talking about men. In the beginning, they always say to please. They serve a purpose, they fill a need, they ensure survival of the species. They keep on the line, run out of gas. Most of the time, they're a pain in the ass. Men, talking about a man. Well, you can't beat 'em up 'cause they're bigger than you. You can't live with 'em and you just can't shoot 'em, man. Talking about men. Silver sun devils, well, they like to listen. Saying anything just to please you, I see. Ooh, yeah, men. Talking about men. Mere mortal man.
Kevin Costner had to be one of the biggest box office draws in the past 2 years. But his film Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, didn't receive the good reviews. But I liked it myself, but felt the special effects were much better in Brady's version, which was similar but called Robin Under the Hood, Prince of Thieves. Both films followed the same premise of take from the rich and give to the poor, but Brady's very version defined rich as anyone with money. I did, however, like the parallel between Robin Hood's outlaw game called Merry Men and Brady's version of the same called Berry Men. And I didn't realize that the movie Uncle Buck was a sequel to Robin Under the Hood, but was originally called Uncle Buck and Me. And it dealt with the fact that because they charged everybody an arm and a leg, it took at least 2 people to keep track of all the spare body parts. Another thing I didn't realize was that Grease, the musical starring John Travolta, was really based, Grease, musical, was based on the story of another man who was so slick they named him Grease. Well, I think we've used those guys about enough to cost me a complete overhaul the next time I need my oil change. So let's get back to Kevin Costner. His film Dances with Wolves was by far just won a lot of Academy Awards, but I heard an awful lot of rave reviews about the Danbury version, which for tonight's sake we're going to call Dancing with the Wolves, which is a reenactment of a couple scenes from a musical entitled The Trial of the Big Bad Wolf, put on last year at the Catholic school under the direction of Martha Ewell. In the opening act, the all-female jury is trying to decide what to do with the wolf accused of destroying the houses occupied by the three little pigs. Here we have the Corn Day faithful 5 members of the Wolf Pack and a few members of the all-female jury singing the title song, It's a Trial. And the second song is He Huffed and He Puffed, the Danbury Catholic Kids. Driving films are always popular because they combine the thrill of being on the road with the mighty spectacular scenery and special effects. One such film that comes to mind was the movie Thelma and Louise, which was about two women touring the hot, dry Southwest in an attempt to get to Mexico. Brady's version was called Thelma and the Breeze, in which Thelma was much better prepared for not only the desert heat, but also for being a star, because she always took at least one fan with her. Another driving film worthy of review was entitled Driving Miss Daisy. It was about a warm relationship developed over the years between an elderly lady and her Negro driver hired by her son. The original Danbury version was about a much more heated relationship between an elderly lady and her son hired as her Negro, entitled Driving Me Crazy. The good thing about it was that it led to the sequel of a similar Danny DeVito film called Throw Mama from the Train, but was instead called Throw Mama from the Van. Another Danny DeVito film I highly recommend is Other People's Money, about an accountant who spends every awakened hour on scheming how to get just that, other people's money. Now, the Danbury version left very little to the imagination and was justifyingly entitled Getting Other People's Money. And it told the story of how a handful of Danbury businessmen went about collecting money for Dana Hall, who many of you may remember was the Iowa football fans will remember was the defensive back for the Washington Huskies in the 1991 Rose Bowl. Well, enough about trivia. Let's get back to Danny DeVito's movie, Other People's Money. Because whenever I think of that movie, I just can't help but remember our next act, which in a sense is a tribute to a corn-day character who has been good for a lot of laughs over the past few years, Old Boss Hall.
Old Boss Hall, song about a man called Old Boss Hall. He was our mayor and served us well, but what he did is hard to tell. Old Boss Hall had a barking dog in the neighborhood, called the mayor up, but it did no good. Talking long and thinking fast, think about the future, forget the past. Old Boss Hall, Old Boss Hall. What a man will do, what a man will do. Ain't no telling what a man will do. Old Boss Hall, Old Boss Hall. A politician born and raised, never an issue he couldn't evade. Old Boss Hall. There was a day with no mailbox. He dodged that issue. Man, there was a fox. I'm talking long and thinking fast. Think about the future, forget the past. Old Boss Hall, Old Boss Hall. Gonna retire as our mayor. Now's the time to say a prayer. His replacement, named Tom Berry, all of a sudden the future looks scary for Danbury. Sitting in a bar we know has seen, calling all the shots and scheming on the scheme, thinking long and talking fast, worry about the future, forget the past. Old Boss Hall, Old Boss Hall, Old Boss Hall, Old Boss Hall, listen to the man called Old Boss Hall. Said don't worry, you can always switch, on election day just vote for Twitch. Old Boss Hall. Next thing you know, he's at it again, running for office, and he's probably gonna win. A supervisor in our county, hope the folks are ready in Woodbury. Old Boss Hall, Old Boss Hall. What the man has done, what the man has done, don't you think it's time to tell what he's done? Old Boss Hall, Old Boss Hall. Nice white suit was his style. Good guys wear white and always smile. Old Boss Hall. We must confide and tell the truth. He's a leader of men, we got plenty of proof. Thinking long in his vote he'll cast, consider the future, remember the past. Old Boss Hall, Old Boss Hall. Now his house is up for sale because his campaign will never fail. We had Corn Day with him well. Hope he wins, only time will tell. Old Boss Hall, sitting on the board as a supervisor, making decisions, there's no one wiser. Thinking long and acting fast, celebrate the future, we'll miss the past. Old Boss Hall, Old Boss Hall.
Now I'd like to introduce to you the 1992 candidate for Woodbury County Board of Supervisors, none other than Morty Welty himself. Give him a hand.
I want to be serious here just a little bit and thank Dave and Doc and Gene and everybody that's put this Corn Days back together. I think it's a great, great, great tradition. How about giving them a hand? The campaign to become supervisor is only 24 days away, and support from the Danbury community has been overwhelming. I speak with pride when addressing important groups in Sioux City. When I tell them I was born and raised in Danbury and that I was the mayor for 9 years, in my opinion, most folks were not as fortunate as I to have had that experience. Your support will always be remembered and your special interest will always have priority. A big thank you to everyone in the Danbury community. Tonight I have a feeling of sadness as I deliver this part of the address to you too. The past 10 years, or 9 years as mayor, as I look back, were most enjoyable, highlighted by the crazy fun that Gloria and I have had while playing the character of Boss Hogg. A special thanks to all of you, the citizens of the Danbury community, for laughing with us. Boss Hogg helped to dignify the office of mayor of Danbury. I was most respected by everyone, but especially the younger people. My hope is that that tradition of Boss Hogg continues and that Danbury be known, amongst other things, as the home of Mayor Boss Hogg, and that he receives the same high respect from everyone as I did. And now, I would like to show my appreciation to the community with a ceremonial passing on of the white suit and hat that has become the trademark of the Danbury mayor's position since the early Dukes of Hazzard. I was reluctant to do this last year for two reasons. One was the same reason we didn't have Corn Days Parade. And two, we couldn't find the darn suit. I even accused Gloria of giving it to the Goodwill. But as it turned out, we had it dry cleaned at Cobert's and never picked it up. But now the people have spoken, and as of last November, you've elected a new mayor to oversee Danbury politics. So it's at this time I'd like to ask Jim Twitchell to come forward to receive the white coat and hat. Congratulations, Jim. Now, if I may, I'd like to share the 4 golden rules of politics. Always remember to pass the hat whenever possible. Always remember that no matter how dirty the politics get, keep the coat clean. It's good for the image. I know what you're thinking. And Twitch, here's a $1 bill. And that signifies never forget to pass the buck. And then there's these white pants. And the reason you don't get them is because a good politician never gets caught with his pants down. That should just about make it official. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the new Boss Hogg.
Our last movie of the evening to review probably did more for Iowa tourism than any other movie in the history of the cinema. I'm speaking of yet another Kevin Costner film entitled Field of Dreams. My all-time favorite line in that movie was when they asked the question, "Is this heaven?" and the response came, "No, it's Iowa." And I can think of only one other line I liked better. And that was taken right out of the Brady version of the very same film, entitled reels of dreams. When they asked the photographer taking all these slides tonight, "Is this heaven?" and he responded, "No, it's Danbury corn days." Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you to the people who put the trust in me to let me take their picture for them. And at this point, then we'll go right into the Queen contest. I need to have last year's Queen, Amy Som and Brenda Berry, to come up on stage. We will start the Queen contest and then announce the winner of the Corn Day raffle.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The 1992 Corn Day Princess. With Paul and Judy Wallerman, would you please escort your daughter Julie to the stage as the 1992 Corn Day Princess? Julie is 17 years old and a senior at Maple Valley. Her activities include volleyball, softball, basketball, and golf. She is a member of St. Mary's Parish and the CYO. She is also a member and vice president of the Garfield All-Star 4-H Club. Also, she has served on the 4-H Council. Her hobbies include reading, quilting, embroidering, and being with friends. Future plans include attending a 4-year college and majoring in elementary education and psychology. Congratulations, Julie. And now, if Paul and Kay Reimer, would you please escort your daughter Kim to the stage and crown her as our 1992 Corn Day Queen. Kim is 17 years old and a senior at Maple Valley. She has participated in Little League softball, volleyball, and keeps stats for the volleyball team. She is a member of St. Mary's Parish and the CYO. She is a member and president of the Garfield All-Star 4-H Club. Her hobbies include sewing, riding horses, working with wood, eating pizza, and talking with friends. She does a lot of babysitting, and her favorite time of year is Fair Week. Future plans, Kim would like to go to nurses training at St. Luke's in Sioux City. Congratulations, Kim. Koch Agricultural Services would like to present a check to our two winners. Representing Koch Agricultural Services, Kenny Lefevre, be presenting a check to the Queen and the Princess. If the Princess and the Queen and her family would like to come up center stage for pictures. Following picture taking, we'll have a drawing for the Corn Days grocery raffle. $100 in groceries from Colbert's Market. The winner of the $100 groceries at Colbert's Market,
Ken O'Neill.
Kevin O'Neill. Congratulations. That's it. David, thank you. It was a great show. Thank you everyone for coming.